We're going to go through the steps of starting up a new project for your CLICK PLC, and you fire it up, you should see something like this and start a new project. So we will start from the beginning over the left here, click on the start a new project, and the first thing it wants is what kind of CPU you're using. Select the C2-01 CPU. Okay, double click that and the password setting will come up, so disable the password requirement. Alright, and away we go. Then the first thing I do is I go and save my project. I'll give it a name. And I asked you guys to put your initials in there, so I'm going to go F. Alright. And you can see they're saved in a folder called Automation Direct in your Documents folder. So we'll save it there. The first step is you need to have a specification. So you'll get your specification, and that's what you'll be working to, and I'll pop that up in a second. Well, maybe bring that up here right now. Okay. This is the specification, so you need to have a specification. The next step is you define your hardware that you're going to determine that will meet that specification. And in this case, all of these specifications will meet this hardware, so you'll define the hardware, which is what we just did. Then once you define all your hardware, you go in there and define your input and output pins. Next step is to write the program. Then you download it into the PLC and test it. Make your changes, go back and download it again, test it, make any changes you might need, and then you're all done. Alright? Okay. We selected the CPU. Now let's go over here to under CPU and do the system configuration. That's your next step. Now you see we've got a power budget. It's in the red, and that's telling you we've got a problem there. We've got to fix it. Well, we got to select the power supply. Okay, and we're going to select external power supply because you've got the Rhino supply. This is the power supply that you guys have, and it's 1.46 amps. So you guys will use 1460 amps. Module configuration, there we go, 1460. Okay, click OK and you'll see that. Now you notice that that big red line went away. Now we also have a slot 0 we have to select. That's your digital I/O card. So you select that. And it's that one right here on the top, the C2-14D1. Double click it. And it's good to go. Now here's your power supply with 1460 milliamp capability. The CPU takes 110. The digital card takes 50. And when you exceed that by building up your slots and your I/O and everything, this manager here will notify you that you've exceeded the capability of the power supply. Let's come up here. We'll give it a PLC name, and I'm just going to call it that, Scott PLC. And that's it. You hit OK. So now your hardware is defined. The next step is to go and define your I/O. So we come up here to the address picker and click on it. Okay, address picker. Now remember the GE, the inputs are I's and the outputs are Q's. Here our inputs are X's, our outputs are Y's. Make all your nicknames, as they call them here, as uppercase. Start 1, stop 1, start 2, stop 2, jog, run, OL in. Now if I look at this here, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I put OL in on 7, so follow the specification exactly. OL in. Okay? So that's all of our inputs defined. Now click over here and let's go to Y. Q1 is MTR1. And to move down in the cells, I'm using the down arrow key on my keyboard. You can see when I type motor 2, it's telling me it's already assigned and I can't use that name again, but finish that off there. Motor 2 on. And the last one, motors off. Alright. So there we've defined all of our inputs and outputs. Click OK. Now I'm going to come back over here. Now here's everything you need to see. If you're working with a laptop and space is a premium, you can turn this on and off over here with the instruction list. Okay? And the same thing as the navigation, you can turn that on and off. Alright? So, click on a cell you want and come over here and grab your contacts and drop them in. So I'm just going to come along here and grab normally open contacts, dropped it in place that it wants the bit memory address. Now I can type nope, it wants me to type X. I'm going to type X1. There we go. And notice it put X1 and also the nickname up there above it. Okay, let's go over here and do another contact. Drop it over there. Now I'm going to click on the 3 dots. They come up here and I'm going to go this one right there. Just double click on it and there you go. Now come up here, I want an output. So I'm going to drop that and notice what it did. It justified it all the way over there. Now it's going to ask me which output, so I'm going to say Y1. Okay. And there you go. Again, now I could drop it here. Y2 does that. Okay. Now I want to put another contact. And the line function over here takes a little playing with. Okay. I'm going to click on here. And then you click on it. And then you click over there. So I've got a branch set up now. Go back to cursor. And then you come back and you drop another contact on there. And let's call this X3. Okay? That's going a little crazy as far as in this won't work, but I'm just showing you how to use the program right now and working your way in and out. Okay? And let's see. Trying to think. You keep adding your contacts, your rungs and everything. Then the last thing you want to put on here, grab the end command and drop it there. Okay? Now that tells the PLC execute rung 1, execute rung 2, and then 3 is done, so go back up to the top and keep doing that. Now let's go over here, save our project. Next thing you do is come up here and select syntax check. And you can see down here 0 errors and 0 warnings. That's what you want. You want 0 errors and 0 warnings always. Alright, then that's good. Now up here you notice we are offline. Click on offline. And it's a yes, allow access. Okay. Alright, so here's a little dialog box that you're going to need, and you look over here at your COM ports. I have already selected the COM 11, but when it came up the first time for me, it showed COM 1. Alright, so open it up and you should see some COM number and CLICK plus. That's what you want to select. And then down here you've got the blink, run, and error LEDs, so you can see that you've selected the right thing. And you click on that and the LEDs will start blinking back and forth between run and error. They'll toggle back and forth. And if you click it again, it keeps on going. It's just going to keep on going until I go and connect to it. So I'm going to connect. And now, I do not want to read the project from the PLC because that'll overwrite everything that I have here. So make sure you pay attention to this. So many people see a dialog box, okay, 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 and ignore what's happened. We're going to select don't read the project from the PLC. It's very important that you select that one and go okay. Now it's out there working. It's connected now. Now the next thing we do is write the project. So we'll write. You can see up we're online and it's running. Now we're going to use the project file setting because see there's another project down here. So we will use this project file settings. Okay. Now one other thing you notice is this came up and it says do you want to reprogram the PLC without switching the mode to stop. Okay, a lot of PLCs you have to stop at first. This PLC will allow you to write to it while you're running, which in a lot of times is not a good practice to do. So I'm going to turn that off and show you what happens. Okay, comes up and it says in the run mode, do you want to change the stop mode? Yes. So it changed the stop mode. It's now writing. It's good. Okay, now it's going to ask you, do you want to put it in the run mode? Yes. At this point your PLC is out there working. Now we come up here and click on status. Okay, look at this. My Y2 output is on because this input is passing power. Alright, the end is operating and it's good. Now if I come over here and push input 1, there you go. If I push X3, okay, you see it turns off. That's it. That's a quick and simple demo on creating your program. And we'll expand on this more as we go.